Hi everyone. Let me show you how to create cross section of object. Here you can see many examples, mainly spheres. Here you can see we have a core which is shown in silver color. So you have a nanoparticle or a nanovesicle, something which has multiple cores. How do you show different layers by showcasing the cross section of the particle? Let's learn that. We use a modifier in Blender known as Boolean modifier. Here you can see examples. Here this block has a spherical cross section, and here you can see different types of cross section people are making. So let's learn about Boolean modifier. Here you can see a nice example. So if you search for sphere, here you can see there is a small opening there. And yeah, coming back to this example, let's learn how to do it. And here you can see several other examples as well. So let me open Blender. I will delete everything here. I'll add a sphere, Shift A, shortcut for adding new object, mesh UV sphere. I'll zoom in using scroll wheel. Now you can see we have a sphere. I want to show the cross section. I'll add a cube, Shift A, mesh cube. I'll move the cube to one side. What we are going to do, let's show cross section of the sphere by deleting one quadrant. What I mean by that, let's switch to wireframe mode like this. I'll go to top view and move this cube like this and move to the right. Now you can see the cube is in one quadrant of the sphere. I'll move this slightly upside like that. Now let's delete portion from the sphere where we have this cube. That's the idea of Boolean modifier. So go to modifier settings, click on add modifier and go to generate, and there you can find Boolean. Click on that, and in Boolean modifier you have three different options. We will start with difference. So now this sphere has Boolean modifier applied on that, and it is asking for an object using which it can do a difference operation, so that can delete portion of the sphere on which we have applied the Boolean modifier using the selected object. Let me show you that. Select this eyedropper tool and simply select this cube. Now you don't see anything, but if you go to wireframe mode, you can see the difference. This is after adding Boolean modifier. You can see this part of the sphere has been deleted, and if I simply hide, you can see it is coming back. So that's the idea of Boolean modifier. Now I'll click apply by clicking on this drop down menu, which is important. Then only we will be able to apply that modifier. Click on that. Now the modifier has disappeared. Make sure that you have made all the difference, then only apply the modifier, because it is irreversible. You will not get all the settings back. And now you can select this and move it outside. Now look at that. We have deleted one part of the sphere like this. And I will add one more sphere, Shift A, mesh UV sphere, and I will scale it down. Press S like that. Now you have a core and a shell. This is our shell. This is our core. So this is annotate tool using which you can draw inside. Now assume that you have multiple shells, right? How to do that? So we can apply Boolean modifier on this sphere as well. Go to add modifier, generate Boolean, and again select this cube and move this cube to previous location like this, and go to wireframe mode to make sure that it is placed nicely, and then select the sphere on which we have applied the Boolean modifier and click apply. And I'll go back to solid preview mode and move the sphere outside. Now look at that, and I will add some colors. Go to material preview mode, go to sphere, click on new, change the base color to maybe blue, select the second sphere, add a new material, change the color to different color, and you can see some kind of blue shading happening here. That is because both planes are overlapping in this case. So I'll simply make a minor move like this so that we can distinguish both. Now add one more sphere, Shift A, mesh UV sphere, scale it down, and you can add a new color. See, this is how you do it. You can apply this for any objects. Let's try this for a cylinder. Shift A, mesh, cylinder. I will move this here, and I will use again the cube. Go to wireframe mode, go to top view, that looks okay, and select the cylinder. Assume that you have some nano road kind of object which has multiple layers inside. This is how you do it. You can increase the scale of the cylinder as Z like this, and I will move it here. Again, go to modifiers, add boolean cube, and click apply. Now you can see the cross section. So use this method for any object or any material that you have to show multiple layers within them. And we use the same approach for showing different layers of earth cores and so on. You can see several examples. Now let's learn about the next option within Boolean modifier. So here we have cylinder, right? So I'll simply duplicate Shift D RY 180 so that we can rotate it. I will scale it down like this, and I will scale it up along Z axis SZ, and I will duplicate the material and I will change the color. Okay. So one tip that I would like to give you in between, you can see these subdivisions on the sphere, right? How to avoid that? When you add the sphere or any object, you need to add more subdivisions. Shift A, mesh, UV sphere, and you will find this option here, expand that. Here you need to increase number of segments. Don't increase it a lot because it will take up a lot of memory. Blender can even crash. So choose 100 as an optimal levels of subdivision. And here you can see we have subdivided the sphere vertically and increase number of rings as well, like this. You can see now we have increased levels of subdivisions horizontally as well. Now we don't see those subdivisions very clearly like that. That's how you do it. You can do so for cylinders as well. Now this looks fine. The thing is, there is an option to make objects look smooth by right clicking and click on shade smooth. Now this looks okay, but because we have this Boolean modifier applied, it doesn't look right at the edges. But there is one way to fix it. For regular spheres, right click and shade smooth. That is completely fine and it looks smooth. And if you want to go through this approach, simply add a bevel modifier and we can make the edges more smooth. Go to generate bevel. Now you can see the edge is smooth, increase number of segments. Yeah, that's how you do it. There are two ways. Okay, I prefer second method. All right, now on this sphere, let me add Boolean modifier again. Now let's learn about union. Union is nothing but if we want to combine two objects and make them into one mesh, you use union option in Boolean modifier. It is not similar to joining two objects. Joining two objects simply means you are just grouping them into one, and both of the object will still be distinct. You can unjoin them at any point in time, but when we are using union option in Boolean modifier, we are basically creating a new mesh out of those two. Let me show you that. So if I go to wireframe mode, this is how a sphere look like. I want to create a lipid molecule. Assume that I need two tails, right? Shift A, mesh, cylinder, and I will move the cylinder here, scale it down like this, press S, S is the shortcut, SZ, scale it up along the axis, scale it down, RY 90, and you can keep it here. And I will duplicate this. Shift D is the shortcut for duplicating an object. Okay, now we have two tails. You have mainly two options. You can either select all of them and press Ctrl J to join them. But if you go to wireframe, you can see all three are distinct objects. But I'll go back, Ctrl Z. I will select this object and I will use union and I will choose this cylinder. Let's go to wireframe mode and do that. Now you can see we have an extension from the sphere out where we have this cylinder. So click apply and go back to solid preview mode, and I will move this out for now. Now move this cylinder out Now you can see basically it got combined with that cylinder and it became a new object, right? It is a single object. That's the idea of union option in Boolean modifier, where you are creating complex objects by combining different objects and making them a single object. So I'll go back, Control Z, and I will select this and add Boolean again, use union, select this cylinder and click apply and move this here. Now we can delete this too and you can add a material here. Now that's how you use Boolean modifier for join operation. Now let me show you what is intersection. Shift A, mesh, UV sphere, add a new sphere, Shift D, duplicate it. Now we can see we are overlapping these two spheres. How to combine these two spheres, right? How to get only the region where we have this overlapping, this part. To get this part, we use intersect. Select the sphere, go to modifiers and add Boolean modifier and select the second sphere. Now you can see something has happened there and I will click apply and select intersect. Now you can see something has happened. We got the region where both spheres are intersecting. So click apply and you can move this sphere outside and you have this intersection. And if you do the same operation for two spheres, let me show you that how that will happen. Shift D, duplicate and keep it here, and again add Boolean modifier, choose this time and click apply. I'll delete that sphere. Now see, now we are getting this. So to summarize, this is basically difference, this is intersection. Let me show you union for two spheres as well. These are two spheres, add Boolean, choose union and choose next sphere and click apply and move this here, delete this. Now I hope you got the entire idea of using Boolean modifier. If you have any questions or requests, let me know. So when you think of advanced objects, think about the possibility of creating that from Boolean modifiers so that you can save time in modeling. If I try to model this through regular modeling method, it can be impossible or it can take a lot of time. But Boolean modifier makes it very, very easy. It cannot be applied for all the objects, but we have to think logically, can we apply Boolean modifier quickly and get whatever we want. And to show holes for a sphere, assume that, okay, you have this core shell, right? And what if we want to add some holes on the outer shell? I will use Shift A, mesh, cylinder, and I can scale this down like this and place it appropriately, R, Y, and keep it wherever you want, like that. Okay, I'll duplicate it again, R, X, R, Z. You can go to wireframe mode to make sure that it is placed well. Okay, let's try Boolean for these two objects. Select the sphere outer shell and I will apply the bevel modifier to avoid any issues. I will add now Boolean, choose difference and select this cylinder and click apply and move this cylinder out. Now look at that, we have created a hole there. Do that for this cylinder as well and click apply. Move this cylinder outside. Now see, we have a hole there. Basically we are deleting one mesh from another using difference operation in Boolean. Okay, so if you want to create holes for entire mesh, it is little different. If you want to learn how to do that, you can find a separate video in the description. All right, I hope that you have learned about Boolean modifier clearly. Let me know if you have any specific request for making tutorials. I will be happy to create them. See you in the next tutorial.